Hello, I'm Tracy Wallach. In this lecture, I'm going to provide a brief overview of stakeholder analysis. This discussion will take an adaptive leadership perspective. So what is a stakeholder? A stakeholder is anyone, either an individual or a group, with a stake or an interest in a particular issue or enterprise. A stakeholder is anyone who is involved in or affected by a course of action. Note that a stakeholder is different from a shareholder. A shareholder is an owner, someone who owns shares in the business, and as such is also a stakeholder. Not all stakeholders are shareholders, however. Traditional stakeholder mapping theory holds that most energy should be spent on stakeholders who have the most power and the greatest interest. Why do a stakeholder analysis? Stakeholder analyses are often conducted in organizations as part of a strategic planning process or by groups who are interested in initiating a change of some sort or who want to address a particular adaptive challenge. Stakeholder analyses can help change-makers diagnose the political landscape so they can better understand where they might encounter support or resistance. To do this, they need to view the organization as a web of stakeholders. For business or service organizations, stakeholders may include various categories of owners, leadership, managers, and employees, as well as clients or customers they serve. It may also include creditors or donors and suppliers, the larger community in which the organization is located, people in the larger physical environment, or the physical environment itself. When doing a stakeholder analysis, for each individual stakeholder or stakeholder group, identify their stake in the adaptive challenge at hand. That is, how will the person or the group be affected if the adaptive challenge is resolved? It is also important to identify what would each individual stakeholder or group ideally like to see happen as a result of the intervention. What is their ideal resolution? What are their desired outcomes? It is useful to think about each stakeholder's level of engagement. How much does each stakeholder care about the issue and/or the organization? How close or distant are they from the issue? What degree of power and influence do each of the stakeholders have? What resources does each stakeholder control? Who wants or needs those resources? What are the underlying values, commitments, and beliefs that guide each stakeholder's behaviors and decision-making processes? What do they care most about? Are there conflicting values? Consider, too, the stakeholders' loyalties and hidden alliances. What obligations does each stakeholder have to the people outside their immediate group? For example, long-term customers, suppliers, donors, or constituent relationships. What shared interests does each stakeholder have with other individuals from other stakeholder groups, such as peers in another department or client groups? That could lead the stakeholder to form an alliance that could build influence. When a group that is comprised of representatives for various stakeholder groups meets to address a particular adaptive challenge, it is possible that they will change as a result of being exposed to new people and different ideas. They need to take into account what happens when they return to their constituent communities. Will they be perceived differently, perhaps as disloyal, for having collaborated with the other? How will they engage their own communities in the adaptive work at hand? What does each stakeholder stand to lose if the adaptive challenge is successfully addressed, or if things should change at all? Change often involves loss, even if the change is for the better on the whole. Would any stakeholder group lose power or status, resources such as time and money, their job, their life, independence, or something less tangible or visible, such as a positive self-image, reputation, sense of comfort, or identity. You can map out this information on a chart or stakeholder map. Begin by brainstorming a list of people, individuals, and groups that will be affected by a potential change. Note, there may be people who are not an immediate part of the organization or project, but who may nevertheless be affected. Don't forget them. Then for each one, explore their relationship to the issue at hand, their level of interest and support for the project or preferred outcome, their noblest values, their loyalties and hidden alliances, and what they would stand to lose if the project or initiative were successful. Once you've completed your map, you are in a better position to develop a strategy for working with stakeholders. This may mean helping them think through strategies for enduring potential losses if the change initiative were to be implemented. For more information about stakeholder analysis, please see the following references. Please visit my website at www.tracywallach.com to learn more about the coaching and consulting services I offer. Thank you for watching.